March 2026 numbers are in for Dufferin County. And spring didn't just show up, it kicked the door down. Sales up and listings up huge. Hi, everyone. It's Teresa Gabriele, your local realtor here in Orangeville. And I've got March 2026 Dufferin County numbers for you and what's happening so you can make the best decisions for your next move. And stay with me to the end because I reveal the two types of homes selling the fastest right now. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to give you the quick Q1 recap first. And I'm going to compare Dufferin County versus the GTA. Explains why March felt like such a shift. So Q1 in Dufferin County was like a roller coaster. January came out hot. February cooled off completely. And then March basically kicked off spring with a big jump in activity. In the GTA, the story is similar, but different in the why. It also started cautious, but the GTA tightened a bit heading into March because fewer new listings showed up, so supply didn't flood the market. That's why some pockets still feel competitive even when prices are softer. So here's the simplest contrast. GTA is tightening because supply isn't showing up. Dufferin is heating up because everyone showed up at once, buyers and sellers. And this is why you can't leverage the headlines for both markets. Same province, totally different rhythm. Now, on the next slide, I'm going to show you the March scoreboard. And I want you to watch one thing, the gap between average and median. That's going to explain a lot. So the average, just so that it's clear, is when you add up all of the total listing prices and divide it by however many houses were sold. The median takes the highest price and the lowest price sold and kind of meets it in the middle. That's the difference. Okay, so here's the scoreboard for March 2026. Average sold price was $749,392, up 8.2% from February. Median was at $734,000, down 1.2%. When average goes up and median dips, it usually means the mix has changed. Maybe more higher end sales closed, but most homes didn't suddenly jump up in value. So what that means is the price of houses are not necessarily going up. It could have just been a higher value home that was sold that's throwing off those numbers. Now the activity, 26 sales, up 73%. And 328 new listings, up almost 80%. That's pretty wild, right? Oh my. That's your spring market signal. Buyers buying and more sellers listing. The days on market are around 25 to 35 days, so homes are still moving at a healthy pace. Next slide, I'll show you what's moving the fastest because that's where the market is giving us the biggest clue. Here's the reality in March. Inventory jumped. So yes, buyers have more choice, but we're still a little tight compared to long-term norms, which is why the good stuff still gets attention. Now let's talk fast movers. Semi-detached and smaller units are going in 7 to 10 days. That tells us affordability is a driving factor, and that's what's driving the decisions. Buyers want a smart monthly payment with less stress, not a someday dream house that feels expensive every month. Detached homes are steady at about 35 days on market. So detached is selling, but it's not automatic. Pricing has to be sharp because you're competing with last month, you're competing with the house down the street that's priced perfectly. So in a minute, I'm going to give you a simple buyer and seller game plan. But first, here's one more headline you should know because it changes the math for some people. So first, there's a temporary enhanced HST rebate on qualifying new builds from April 1st to 2027 with potential savings of up to $130,000. But if you've seen my post on Instagram, make sure that you're taking that agreement of purchase and sale to your lawyer for a review to make sure that those rebates are in fact confirmed and law. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you're looking at new construction, it's worth taking a look at, but do your due diligence. Second, the Bank of Canada held the policy rate in January and March, And that kind of predictability boosts confidence. Now, keep in mind, those rates only impact the variable rate, not the fixed rate. So be careful when you're looking at what the Bank of Canada is doing and how it could impact your mortgage strategy. I have a really great mortgage agent coming in, sharing all of that information. It's on my next podcast, so look out for that for sure. When people feel that the ground is more steady, they are going to make faster decisions. That's what we saw in March. The seller takeaway in all of this, with more listings on the market, pricing matters even more. I think I've stressed that in like the last few videos, but it now matters even more. The well-priced home sells, the overpriced one sits and watches it happen. And then as you see those prices tumble down on those houses, those sellers are going to be forced, if they need to sell for so much less than they would have if they had just priced it to market. That is the takeaway for sellers. And it's not me being dramatic, but that's how higher choice markets work. In the next slide, I'll give you the game plan. This is where you'll know exactly what to do based on your current situation. Okay, so here's the game plan for April. Buyers, you have even more selection than you did in January, so use it. But don't confuse more listings with no competition. The best price homes still move fast, especially semi-detached and smaller units. So get in on those quickly. Get your financing right. Know your must-haves. And when you see the right one, don't overthink it for 2 weeks. Jump at it. Again, depending on the type of house you're looking for, it may go faster than you think. Sellers, real demand is here. Buyers are in force, but so are other sellers. The edge is not luck. It's pricing and presentation. This also lines up to what we know about Dufferin County. A lot of people are moving for lifestyle, space, commuting relief. So buyers are picky and they compare hard, really hard. I've seen it. Price right from day one. Prep matters, and you will win in the first week. And now let's wrap the market story. Bottom line, March confirmed spring demand is back. Sales jumped, listings jumped, and the market is active but selective. Fast movers are the semi-detached and the smaller units, 7 to 10 days on the market. That's like, it's bringing me back to a different era. Detached remains steady, but pricing has to be strong. Thank you for joining me on this episode for your April 2026 March numbers for the Dufferin County area. I will be back next month with April as we kick off a new quarter. I'll see you then.